Hey guys, I'm Pacey Cervantes here with Ashley Cooke, new in Nashville, and we were actually just talking about your song, Your Place.
Yeah.
It just hit #1.
It just hit #1 on Sunday.
So how, like, was that like a dream of yours for years?
Absolutely. I think every young artist dreams of getting a #1 song on FM radio. I mean, it's huge. It's a big deal, and it took a lot of work and a lot of time. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see my name at the top of that chart and to know that all of the work that we put in paid off.
Yeah.
You know? So
is there now? So now, what's your next goal? Another #1.
Great question.
Clearly.
Obviously, another #1. That's
Right.
huge. I just put out a song with Brantley Gilbert that's doing great at the chart already, so we can hope that'll happen soon. But yeah, I think, man, my next goal would be to sell out my next headline tour. I just announced my headline tour today, my second leg of my headline tour. So I think it'd be a really cool thing to get to sell that out and say that I, sold out my second headline tour.
And then, then on to selling out stadiums, and
a couple steps in between. But
Okay.
just a couple.
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm a dreamer.
Yeah, no, me too. That's definitely, stadiums obviously is a huge goal. Like, why not shoot for the moon when you're in early phases of your career? So we'll see. I really would love to get there someday. So.
And you've been on TV, so you were on The Bachelorette, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So how was that being on national TV and performing on something that millions of people watch?
Yeah, it was very different than you'd expect, in the best way, but also in, like, just hysterical ways. Like, so The Bachelorette, people think that it's all planned ahead of time. It's not. We got there, myself and Brett Young were singing on the show, and our whole plan was to serenade this girl on her date with this guy, and The Bachelorette on the date with this guy, and she sent the guy home before we were able to serenade them. So it was very awkward because me and Brett just had to basically perform to a empty theater with her there, like, crying because the guy is no longer a part of the situation. So it's very interesting, and it was very fun to learn. And honestly,
so it's not pre-scripted?
Not at all, no. Like, it's very real. I will say, like, it takes a lot longer for them to, like, go through it. So it's not like it happens and then 5 minutes later we played a song. It was like she sent him home, and then 3 hours later, there was through the interviews and talking and all that stuff, then they did the thing. So it takes a minute, but it isn't pre-scripted. And
there's more. So there's more behind the scenes.
Yes.
Than there is, but it's still real. But it's
still very real, and, like, very based off what she feels in the moment. And it was really cool to get to, like, be a part of that and see the process of it. But the actuality of playing for an empty theater was a little weird, but it was really fun.
That is so interesting. Sorry, I love reality TV.
I love it. Okay, yeah.
So
I don't watch it at all, so I was curious, like, what it was all about.
See, now all my other shows, it's going through my head of, like, well, what else is, like, I thought that was scripted. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, they're not scripted.
That's
not scripted.
crazy.
It is
so national TV, and you toured with Luke Bryan.
I did, yes.
How was that? Like, is he just as cool? Speaking of being not scripted, because he's not scripted at all.
Not at all. That man is just a loose cannon in the best way.
Right. So how was it touring with him?
So much fun. I feel like I learned a lot just getting to watch him every night. I've always loved Luke and looked up to him a lot, but getting to watch him every night and hear his advice, and basically he just, like, speaking of, unscripted, his whole MO is to throw the set list out the window. He doesn't want to have a plan because, just like I said earlier about, playing an acoustic show, he wants to get out there, and if the crowd in that moment, in that exact, moment wants a tempo and he's about to play Drink a Beer, he wants to flip and play something completely different, and he'll do it.
And his band is like,
they've just learned to do it. I was talking to Michael, which is one of his MD of his band, and he was like, dude, he's like, randomly Luke will just grab his guitar and start playing the most random cover that nobody's heard in 4 years, and you just have to, like, pick it up and figure it out. Like, he's just very spontaneous, which is inspiring as an artist, because, like, we're so regimented, and I think myself, I'm a perfectionist, like, to a fault, and so I think it was fun to get to, like, learn that from him and see him just pivot and just, like, play it and kind of go by the mentality of, like, they want to have a good time, so just have fun, who cares?
I wonder if he was always like that, or if now he's kind of grown his confidence throughout the years.
It's a great question. Yeah. I would assume he's always been like that, just because of the way that he's kind of built his career. He's always been, like, the funny guy, the funny party guy.
Yeah. Because we're probably the same. Like, I need everything planned out.
Yep.
And I need to know where we're going, and then, like, what the beat is, like, everything.
It's definitely inspired me to be a little more, like,
off the cuff.
Yeah, off the cuff. Because I think it's true. Like, like, crowds, concerts, why we love it so much is because of the energy in the room. Yeah. And if you don't know how to read that energy and base what you're doing off of that energy, it's hard to be an entertainer. So it's important. I think you have to, keep them engaged in the room, and Luke does that super, super well.
Have you ever done that, like, since being on tour with him? Have you been like,
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh good. Yeah. There's been a couple times throughout the set where my drummer will, like, talk in my ear and be like, hey, this song's next, and I'm like switch to this song, because you just can feel the momentum, you feel what they need, and you can kind of, like, scratch the itch of what you know that they're looking for.
And that's what builds a star.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's I guarantee. I bet you, let's say 2-3 years, at least. Not like selling out basketball stadiums. Yeah, selling out stadiums. Yeah.
Thank you.
I say that. I mean, look, you're beautiful. You know, you have a great, and you're learning from the best.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that I feel like separates the people that aren't successful versus the ones that are. Is you take in criticism and you apply it.
Absolutely.
You know?
You know, I think like I'm on tour with Jordan Davis right now too, and even watching him every night. I mean, he's a little more regimented, like I would say I am and most artists are, but it's just cool to get to, you know, watch him side stage and talk to him afterwards and kind of hear him debrief the show. And I don't know, it's cool to get to, you're right, learn from the greats in the industry and learn from a lot of people along the way. So.
Do you have anyone that you have like started teaching, like that's been learning from you yet?
Oh, that's a great question. My natural thought is to go with my opener from my first headline tour, which was, his name is Vincent Mason. He's incredible. He has a song called Hell is a Dance Floor, and it's so good. And it was just fun. He got to ride the bus with us a lot for my first headline tour, and he's an incredible artist on his own. It doesn't need any advice, but I think he picked up a couple things that we learned from other artists along the way, and it's just kind of like passing it back.
Yeah,
so.
It's just years and years. I mean, I'm sure Luke Bryan learned from someone that he
100%.
Opened up for, you know, and same with the person that he learned from. So,
absolutely.
Thank you, Ashley Cooke. Thank you so much for joining me. I cannot wait to see your career just explode because I have a feeling it is. I mean, your place is already #1.
Thank you. I know it's crazy, right? I'm like, what the hell?
Exactly. So, and it probably hasn't even hit you yet, has it?
No, honestly, it hasn't. I think it's one of those things that will hit me. Like I haven't been home since it went #1 because we've been gone for the last 2 weeks on the West Coast touring and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had my 27th birthday and my first #1 song all while I've been gone the last 2 weeks, and I haven't been home to quite like.
You have a lot of celebrating to catch up.
Yeah, and I think I should like sit in silence in my house for a second and just like process what the hell is going on because it's a lot to take in, and I think I'm kind of like, you know, in like show mode and go mode, show and go mode, that rhymed.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it'll be good to just get home and get to like kind of take a minute to.
I love that. I love that, and I can't wait till it hits you because then you're probably gonna cry tears of joy.
You know, we can hope. I cried a lot the day that it went #1.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't cry often, but I FaceTime my parents and I was like, I went #1, and it was just like sobbing.
Oh my god,
like,
they probably were sobbing too.
Oh my god, yeah, they're so excited and freaking out, and it's a big deal. It's a big celebration for everybody that's involved in my life. So
I love that. Ashley Cooke, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.